And now it's really time to give the mic to our first speaker.
Dawid Pacia is Test Automation Manager at Brainy.
David is also a tech freak who leads a wonderful QA team and actively speaks and travels around the world, combining both passions.
Dawid is also the originator of the Ukrainian QA meetup, Ukraine QA. He was speaker at the previous edition of QA Challenge Accepted, 007-1.
Last but not least, he is a big lover of cats. He even makes IoT for his pets.
This year, Dawid is here to tell us what happens when startup meets quality, a short story of a QA agent.
Make some noise for
Dawid
Pacia!
Good luck.
Good morning. Last time I saw so many faces alive was like a year ago. I suppose most of you as well. So it's awesome to be here. It's awesome to have a chance to talk to you, to see you, to drink with you probably later. Okay, let's start. So yeah, this is gonna be a story about basically me. So boring, but it will be a story about the change of the mindset, of the quality across the organization, and basically about the change how we think, how we approach. So, yep, let's start. But before we start, I think I need to plug in. Okay. Any presentation without at least small technical issues would be just, like no presentation. So, yeah, me and my cat. I'm not going to talk about cats like last year. Sorry for that. But I'm not doing cameras for pets anymore. However, I can assure you there will be a lot about cats during the presentation and a lot of cats pictures. Okay, so let's start with the question, what the hell is startup? And you can find a lot of definitions. If you find the time and if you are really bored, you can Google them. But let me show you my own. The first one, that's the company focused on growth. So we want to be first to the market, as quick as possible. We want to basically, like grab the money from that. The second one is work with technology. Like you can expect, local pizzeria is not really startup, despite focusing on growth. So we are talking about technology as well. And the third one, still searching business model. So we still don't know really what will bring us money. So, and that's the classical dilemma. So what to choose? We have this triangle. We have speed, we have quality, and we have money. As you can expect for the startup, quality is somewhere behind. But what Richard Branson says, who knows Richard Branson? Okay, quite a lot. He's one of my favorite entrepreneurs. So what Richard says, and he's one of the biggest investors in startups. So the cheapest way is not always the best way. And that's true. Because before we start with action, we have step -1. At least I call it step -1, which is realizing. So usually for the company, it's like, OK, we code, we develop, we deliver, and then we have a problem, quality problem. And what is that problem? Well, actually, I can divide them into 4 groups. The first one is something that really affects our company. It can be our image. It can be like some low issues, but something that is not really countable in terms of money, but really affects our organization. The second one is connected with people. So people are basically frustrated. Low quality, getting back code, over and over the same, not good situation. The third one, yep, is expressed in dollars or any other currency. And when we lose money, that's not good situation for the startup. And the fourth one, which actually quite often happens when C-level, so the owners of the organization, they have some ideas. And we know that some pivots, some quick changes, and then we should do something. And what I know from my experience, there is an idea. Okay, let's hire someone. If we find that person, this guy, this one single guy, will fix all our problems. Is it true? We know it's not, but usually it's like that. So we have a problem, let's hire someone, he will fix the world, like Agent 007, but in real life, that's not that simple. And then, after this, we have step 0. I call it exploring and stuffing. So we can kind of make an action, but not the real one. Because what does it mean? Well, if you are employed, you are like first, second person, we are still startup, why do we need more testers? Why do we need more people? Like, we want to develop, we don't want to spend too much money on testing. And for me, it was like the third time in a row joining as the second QA. As you can expect, if there's like 100 people or a few tens of the people, and one QA, it's not QA, it's just tester. So you have time just to click, 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 and that's it. You don't have really time for creative thinking. And what you can really do in that terms is gathering metrics, because it's hard to discuss with numbers. You can have like kind of gut feeling that we have low quality, but with numbers, you cannot really argue. What can it be? Like quite a lot of stuff. Maybe if we had a bug, it's problem with subscription, so people just couldn't register. And then you can just multiply it, and you have money. Maybe we couldn't download the app because it was crashing all the time, or maybe the same problem with registration, or some performance issue. So people were basically frustrated, they installed, they had a problem, and then dropped. Or the same with performance on web. They entered, it was loading like 20 seconds, and they left. And it's not really hard to count it. The second way of measuring something is to count what type of activities you are doing or your QAs are doing on a daily basis. If it's like here, so mostly it's like just testing, manual testing, and meetings. Again, it's not QA, it's just tester. We want to invest in QAs, not in testers. Because like we invest in specialists, in engineers, and to let them do their job, they need time. If they just test and they just have meetings, that's a problem. And actually, you can quite easily show it. I know it's like kind of bureaucracy, but it's not about explaining every single reason. So I went to the toilet, okay, it was 5 minutes. No, it's about the category. So I just test, I had a meeting, and here I had some time to define the process. And the third metric, actually it's not a metric, it's more like a plan, but still you can see it. It's a plan. So showing what is your long-term goal, your long-term plan, what kind of actions you want to make. And, you know, like people, management people, like me, for example, they like colors. If there are colors, that's cool. And I can easily read it. I can easily see it. And then, hopefully, you have a team or you have people who can join and who can start working with you. Okay, so finally, we have step 1, action time, and that's the first step, and that's the last step in my presentation. So we can finally start doing something, because what I want to show you is what does it really mean to be a great QA agent. So the first one is you need to be a great leader. And I'm not talking about being a leader as a position, like QA lead, QA manager, test lead. No, it's about the mindset, about the skills, about the approach. You can be a great leader, informal leader, not being a manager. And probably you know that very well. Because, again, we have Richard Branson coming with his smart sentence and saying that usually customers doesn't come first. Because if you have a bunch of motivated people, they will take care of your clients. If you have a group of like people who, meh, I don't care, and they just work because they have to have money to eat, drink, mostly drink, something. So that's probably not the way. And what you can do is to help and protect them. What does it mean? Well, you, as a guy with the leadership experience or leadership skills, you can always discuss with other people and other managers, just trying to explain them, okay, that's not the way we want to do. That's not the way we want to follow. Like, just try to let them work. Try to show, let them show how to work, how to do the stuff. The second thing is building the feedback culture. Who of you has one-on-ones at the company? Okay, that's surprising. But not that really, because people don't like to give feedback. And why? Because we have to say unkind stuff. And people don't like to receive feedback. Why? Because we don't want to hear unkind stuff. But that's super important, because without one-on-one feedback, very often you don't know what you do wrong or what you can do better. So that's first step, and that's must-have. What I think is must-have. If you don't have one-on-ones with your manager, just probably kicking in the ass is not the best way to build a relationship with your manager, but at least you can suggest that, hey, let's have it. I want to hear from you what I can improve, because without that, I don't know. Maybe I do something wrong, but I don't know about it. The second one is team feedback, and that's the next step. Never start with this without having one-on-ones. So you have the whole feedback that can collaborate if giving and receiving feedback. It's much more effective because you have a group of people, not one-to-one with everyone, but it's much harder. But the ultimate goal, from my perspective, is continuous feedback. So if I see someone is doing something not very well, or I think someone can improve something, I immediately go to that person giving the feedback. But it really demands the approach on the other side. I'm ready to grab that feedback, to interpret it, to think about it, and then think, okay, thank you very much, Mr. Pacia. I will fix it. I will try to improve that. So I think that's crucial. Like, feedback is crucial at the organization. Because feedback leads to transparency, and if we have transparency, it's always much better. As we know, lack of communication is one of the biggest costs at the company. And it's simple it sounds simple to fix, but it's hard to implement. And trust and give ownership. Probably you had that situation, like you got the task, you have no idea how to do it, but you feel engaged. Like, you feel, okay, someone gave me something, so I want to deliver it. I have a trust from someone, so I will find a solution, I will find the people, I have a task to do. Okay. And really, I had so many situations, people who actually didn't know what to do, how to do the task, and they delivered it much better with people with good skills. Why? Because they were motivated. And let them grow. Without growing, I think that's the end. If we do not grow, we move backward. So, and actually, this picture is from my mother's master thesis. As you can expect, my mother is not 30, because I'm over 30. That would be strange. And that's her master thesis from last year. Last year. She's working in a hospital, and she's learning, still learning. So if I hear from like 35, 40 years old person that, I know so much, I don't want to really develop, I don't need actually more skills, I do what I like, then I'm doing and then we continue discussion, of course. That's not constructive feedback. But when I hear something like that, I know that there is something wrong, and that picture is actually my explanation that no, you should develop. And you remember that picture? After just those changes, you have much different stuff. And something that is called QA internal is this creative stuff about processes, improving stuff, and about, I have finally time to show my skills, to show my competencies. I don't have to test all the time. Okay, we have great leader. What is the second puzzle? It's hard to be great QA agent without being a great QA. Because that's you with the right competencies at the organization. So what you can do is to force quality requirements into your product, into your stories, into your processes. Because usually it's like, we don't have time, we cannot fit those requirements. But that's not true. Like even the second slide, like Richard Branson, like, quality is super crucial because, especially for the startup, if we want to develop quickly, then at some point we'll face the huge problem with something. I mean, I saw so many failures that it's even hard to recall one of them. So you definitely can do it. But what else? It's not about requirements only, because you have just simple agile stuff here. Definition of done, definition of ready, maybe acceptance criteria well defined, maybe non-functional requirements, and many, many more. It's up to you, and I'm pretty sure most of you can do it, at least one of those. And we can start thinking, but that's Scrum Master responsibility. What if you have a Scrum Master that doesn't want to do that stuff? And what if we don't have Scrum Master? So that's you who can do it, because who else? Usually it's not developers. And one of the ways is to inspire from the best. We like to be inspired. So we have Facebook, Amazon, Spotify, and Atlassian. They have own approach. Different approach, different stuff, different processes. Maybe you know them, maybe not. You can read it later, what exactly it is. One note from my side, never try to copy it all, because if that fits for one organization, it's 99.9% that it won't fit for your context. And then when you try to scale the whole approach, so like Google, for example, we don't need testers. Let's remove testers. Probably that's not the way. We can call it differently. We can redefine approach. With Spotify, does it mean if I introduce chapters and guilds, it will fix everything? Probably not. So you have those elements. You can start implementing them. Just never try to implement everything. Do it incrementally, refine, check if that's working, and then you can say, OK, that worked for me. That doesn't, move forward. Measure, observe, control, and react. What does it mean? Again, you need something to visualize, because your gut feeling, we doing better, that's just your feeling. And someone can agree, maybe not, but then you talk to your manager or someone even higher, and then, OK, look at it. I have numbers. This is how we did. This is how we improve, or we are doing something worse, but you need to present. So I know about metrics. We don't like them too much sometimes because it's formal. It's maybe bureaucracy, but we need them. So don't forget about it. What kind of metrics? It's up to you, up to your context. I don't want to discuss about the specific metric. It's about having the visualized approach, so I can present you something. And then you can finally start discussion. So if you have evidence that we are doing better, keep it. If we are doing worse, remove it. But don't forget about the risk. So anyone have ever tried like handling risk management, risk-based testing? Okay, good stuff to try, because okay, the slide is, no, it's not missing. But if you have a risk, then you can adjust your time that you have to the stuff you can do. And always you can focus on the most burning, most important stuff. Not randomly chosen, but something that is measured, is judged, and focus on that. But the first thing to do is educating. That's you doing QA. That's you, the specialist in its area. So you should talk to people how they can do better, what we can try. That's you as a subject matter expert. So who else? I mean, if you won't do it, probably no one else will do it. So we have second component. And the third one is fast mover. I know it's probably not the best name, but let me explain what does it mean. Like Richard again, we like Richard. Do not be embarrassed of failures, because without failures, we don't learn too much actually. We want to know not only what to do, but what we shouldn't do. And you should be ready for failing, but fast failing. If you quickly learn from that, that's okay. And if you do one mistake, that's okay. And then you quickly do something else. If you move forward with making the same mistake over and over again, that's something different. That's a different story. But failing once and learning from that, for me, that's absolutely all right. And you have much more benefits from that you can expect. I mean, we have the connotation that failure means something very, very bad. I don't think so. I don't agree with that. I can discuss about it because if we are ready to fail, we speed up our decision process. So we don't have to do very complex analysis. We can do something and then check the results. The second one is decrease cost regret. So you know that it's especially for developers. So I wrote something. I know it's bad, but I invest in that. I don't want to, I know it's a failure, but okay, I will add the code to this one already existing instead of refining. So we don't want to remove something we already did if we feel it's a failure, but why not? Then it enables experimenting, so we can try new stuff, and that's very creative, and yep, that lets you grow. And then you have a lot of possible source of information, and we usually don't use it. We have store. We can read the comments from people because users are one of the best sources of knowledge. We have reviews, maybe in Amazon. We have customer feedback. We have maybe support team at the company that we had never talked to, but they are the best informed from the users. And don't do agile, be agile. So if I follow the guide, the Scrum guide, like those 17, I think it's 17 holy pages, does it mean I'm agile? Probably not. You do agile, but you are not agile. Agile is adjusting to changing context, to changing environment. And that's finally my sentence, the only one, no worries. So if you are able to switch a little bit to do something better, even if it's not correct with the guide, let's do it. Why not? That's exactly agile. And 4 days ago, I had a call from CTest conference, and I had a speech at 5 p.m. And they are calling me like 10 past 10. And okay, can you deliver a speech in 5 minutes, despite I had it in 7 hours? Okay, why not? I can do it. Just let me grab a coffee. So I was late like 1 minute, but first things first, without coffee. And that's agile for me. I don't think we should always follow the exact rules. Okay, so we have the last missing component, and that's the most modern one. We have influencer. You can call it trendsetter. You can call it now, I think, YouTuber, TikToker, Instagrammer. Those are synonyms. But what does it mean being influencer? Because we have that connotation that that's influencers. Those people who do nothing, they just show the stuff, and they are famous for doing nothing. I mean, they are famous for being famous. But what I understand here is being a speaker. I mean, now I'm the speaker. I'm advocating my ideas. I try to inspire you. I try to make you making an action. And I'm not talking about you being a speaker at the stage, but you can express your ideas to the team, to the people. You can show them, hey, I have that idea. I can show you something. I can make a workshop that we can try. I can present you the new approach. And that's it. You have something to say, but you need to be proactive. The Second stuff is stop being nice. I mean, we have a tendency to being super nice. We want to be friends and so on, but it's professional stuff. I mean, I'm paid for doing my job. It's not a beer meeting. You can have a beer after that. Politicians, they are from different parties. They argue, but after that, they have a beer. And we don't know about it. I mean, most of us don't know about it, but they do it. I mean, they have professional life and they have private life. We have to separate it. So if you need to push someone, if you have to force them, just don't be afraid of it. I mean, it's another story, communication skills, how to commit people to do something, how to force them in a kind of not very unpleasant way. But it's not about being kind all the time. And be proactive, because if you are not proactive, nothing will happen itself. It's not like magically, okay? I mean, in James Bond movie, probably it just happens, but not in real life. So you need to be proactive, because nobody will come to you and show me something. Usually it's like you come to people and you say, okay, let's do it something. And I can give you a small tip, very small, but it's working for me. If you have an idea, you go to the people, and then I say, no, I don't think, no, I don't want to do it. So you say, like, okay, if you have any better idea, just let me know. We'll try it. And you know, people usually will not come because they don't want to do it. They don't want to define something from the very beginning. They will just try, okay, if you have an idea, let's try it. But, you know, just look how it looks like. You go to them, you show the proposition, but still, if you have any better idea, no problem, let's do it. But they will never have better idea, because that's human thing. We don't want to do it. And last thing, fake it till you make it. Who have ever heard that sentence? Okay. So faking till making it. You can quite easily pretend, kind of pretend you know something. But faking till you make it is I do something until I really know how to do it, until I really learn how to do it. So what can it be? I don't know. Maybe you can introduce exploratory sessions at the company, maybe task estimations. And that's my story from like 2 or 3 years ago. I saw like estimating is kind of bad. I mean, I don't want to say it sucks. However, no, it sucks. So I learned how to do it. I spent like 2 or 3 weeks talking to different people, gathering materials, and then just said, okay, guys, let's work on that, and let's make our estimations better, because it's bad, and nobody wants to do it. So yeah, faking, kind of faking, but now I know how to do it. I feel like maybe not an expert, but quite competent guy to talk about it. What else? I don't know, maybe simplifying bugs reporting, risk mitigation, maybe BDD. There are lovers and haters of BDD, so I don't want to discuss about it. So, yeah, that's the end. So what do you learn today? And the ideal situation would be like, you know, I'm started asking from the right, and then like 100 people, if you have time. But it's probably not the best moment. So I will tell you what you learned today. So what does it mean to be a great QA agent? Like being a great leader, not about the position, but about the skills, about the mindset, about the approach. Being a great QA, which is kind of obvious, but sometimes we are afraid of our competences to show them officially. Being a great fast mover, so making mistakes, but learning from them, making failures, but I know it's not the right way. And the last thing, being an influencer, which is quite modern, but someone has to do it. And I think that's the skill of the future, influencing people, like talking to them, being proactive, especially now, during remote work, COVID time, because you can spend 8 hours just writing on a Slack. But at the same time, you can organize a 1-hour meeting showing your ideas, and that's totally different story. So if I want you to learn and to remember one sentence from my presentation, that's it. It's 5 words. Screw it, let's do it. Without trying, you will do nothing, because nobody will come and do it for you. And thank you very much for my team. They don't care about it because they are cats. Cats just don't care. But thanks to them for making this presentation. And that's it. Thank you very much. And I don't know what to do. Should I answer some questions or?
No.
Okay.
David, we have some questions. If you have questions from people in the hall, please raise your hand so we could see you and give you the microphone. Otherwise, we have a question on Discord. So
Audience first. If you have
Audience
any
first.
questions, just raise your hand.
So, questions? No, it was clear enough. So, nice question from Sunny. Thank you, Sunny, from Discord. How many metrics, charts, pies, Jira widgets for collating data are enough, and when they start to be too much?
Oh, my favorite answer, it depends. So I think it's better. I mean, we have a tendency to do the stuff perfectly. So to do as much as possible and then analyze data. I'm a mathematician from the university and that kind. But it's better to aggregate a small piece than discuss it. Maybe it's worth, or upfront discuss with the people, making brainstorming. I love that form of meetings, brainstorming. What will be useful for us? So at first, identify the need, and then implement. Not another way. So first implement, and then reading data. Let's find out, talk to people, maybe they have ideas, and then try to identify. Usually it's some trends that show if we are going better, so maybe number of bugs, or maybe number of critical bugs, which is important, or how quickly we are handling with most important bugs. So it's called first time to reaction and time to fix, so both. How quickly you react, and then how quickly it's fixed. But I don't want to say it's the golden rule. No. At first, you always should analyze what will bring me a value and then implement it. Because you will find the tools. Tools should never come first. The first should come the problem and the solution, and then the tools and the implementation. So it's coffee time. Thank you very much once again.
Hey. So if you have any further questions for Dawid, you can find him outside. He will be here the entire day. And you can also ask questions to him in our Discord channel.
And now it's time to break, coffee break.
See you in 10:40.